Alright, so not sure in what order I put these videos in or where you're seeing it, but what we're going to do in this quick little, I'm hoping it's quick. You guys know how this goes for me in some of these videos. Quick can mean a half hour. We're hoping that's not going to happen today. But I bought some new seals. I got these side Targa Top Seals here, and I got this seal here. This seal here was a little hard to find. I will find it and I'll replace it, but basically what I'm going to show you in this video is the exact same way you're going to do these sides, and this back one is how you'll do the front one. But let's take a look at what the new seals look like. Oh, no. Well, that wasn't too smart. So they sent me, look at, there's a crease in them. They had them sideways. So we aren't going to be able to put these in. I'm going to have to see if we just let these sit out here in the sun, if that crease will come out. Oh, wow, what a mistake from this place. Is this a new one or a reconditioned one? This is garbage. Alright, let's take a look at the difference between the old and the new. And I want you guys to see right off the rip. Look at the cracks and stuff in there. Oops. Pay attention to the viewfinder. But that's just, it's so beat up, and you can see that there's like areas where it's not glued well. And right here, it's funny because right where this, if you can see this dip right here. See right there at the end of my thumb where that dip is? That's where I get a lot of leaks, is right through there. So I'm glad I'm doing the side ones. This one here is where is the only place where I get my leak, here on the driver's side. And all this, okay, what I was showing is where I have a leak here, because this like indentation, it doesn't seal very good. And you can see how dry rotted, how dry it is right through there. And then here, just look how mangled. This is what it's supposed to look like. Look at it, all mangled. This is what it's supposed to look like. And this is what mine looks like. Just look how easy that falls apart. It's completely mangled. It's no good. So we're gonna pull this off first, get this one on and set in place. We'll measure it up, make sure it sits in there right, and then we'll glue it down and get it installed. All right, so we got the old one out, thrown on the floor over there. And what I'm going to do is, if you notice, obviously this was a problem area for somebody else. This is a lot of built up caulk and glue on this side, this area, and right through here too, which would explain why it gets through here and down to inside the car, all through here. So I'm gonna go get, it's not really wire, it's like a, I don't know how to explain it, but I've got a soft little wire wheel, like a Brillo pad kind of thing. And I'm gonna run that on here just to clean this little area up and make sure not to go past this edge here, but I'm just gonna clean all this up. All right, so I got my areas cleaned up, and we've got the new one sitting across here for test fitting and stuff. And I wanted to point out that, okay, so you'll end up taking a screw out there, a Phillips head screw. You'll end up taking a Phillips head screw out of there and right there, which, oh, now the whole thing fell. I just had it up here nice and neat for the video. There we go. So you'll see there's like metal that's in there. Oops, right there. That will go there. And then I'll have to poke that hole through. I just noticed that. But that hole will be for that screw there. And then you see like the groove right here in the rubber? You'll notice there's a groove there. Maybe I should go look at the other side, but there's a groove there and a groove here. And that and this edges will fit. This edge here that my thumb is on now will go behind this. And this edge here will go behind this one. And I'll show you how to glue that and get that set in place. But I also wanted to show you down here. There is a push pin that goes for that hole there, which is hidden. See that? See that hole there right at the end of my thumb? That one goes there. And then there's another push pin there. And there's another hole. See, I'll have to open that one up too. And then another push pin goes there. So like I was saying, you're going to use a card. We already test fitted it. You can see I got the glue in there. So what you're going to do is shove this piece in. If you flip this up, you see this corner edge here. You're going to shove that corner edge into that tray. Down into the tray all the way across. And then you'll use your card. See the little rubber edge there? Just like I was telling you. You'll take your credit card and shove it down in there behind it. All the way across. So like I was telling you guys before, you got these little push pins. One goes here, and then you've got your hidden one back here. So we're going to take the first push pin, we're going to shove it from the inside through all the goop and mess that you made. Hopefully like I did. There it goes. That little bit right there. And then we've got one more push pin right here that goes in this bottom hole like I was telling you before. Just like that. I'll make sure everything's pushed up against. Got a nice tight seal on everything. And then of course I'll go through with some dang it, what's it called? Mineral oils, or dang it. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Some mineral, oh man, forget it. I know you guys can look it up. And then I'll wipe all the excess crap that I got scattered all over the place. And then remember I was telling you we got Phillips head screws. One goes right here. And we got that screw in. And then remember the other one, if you come on the other side for me, Cat. Remember the other one is and just snug. We're not trying to kill it. Doesn't have to be over, you know, over shoved down on there or anything like that. Yep, that's in. Yeah, all this finger mess I got. Gotta clean all that up. So there you go. We got that in. All right. All right, everybody. Sorry. The sun is down, running out of light, so I had to speed this up quite a bit. I got the top back on. I just had to make sure that this was all sealing up properly through here, and it's down like it's supposed to. And when I shut the door, It's got a nice seal. You can see where there's still that upward right here. So I know that this seal still has to be replaced, and you can see how cracked and dry it is. It's no good. So we got to get the new one on, but I'm running out of time. I didn't think I would. But you can see where the new one meets the old one. All that is a lot nicer than what it was with the other one. So, and this side looks really good too. Look at that, nice tight seal all the way up there. Same thing with this side. And that's how it should look. This is the proper way for it to look, just like that. So that's that. We got the top seal on. I'll do the sides. I'm not going to put it in another video, but basically it's going to be the same idea of what we just did for the sail seal on the sides. Same idea. You use your credit card. You can still, you know, or even a nice soft, or not a soft, but like a plastic type spatula, and shove that little bead behind the catch or gutter, and it should sit in there real nice. I know that there's probably going to be a debate on it, maybe, maybe not, whether I should have glued it. I've talked to the dealer, and even the dealer told me that you're going to find different people that are going to do it different ways. Some people are not going to use anything at all, which is actually stupid. And then you're going to have people that are going to use a caulk. Some people are going to use actual like weather stripping glue. I use both the, you know, some black RTV in those weird areas where I feel like water was kind of maybe going behind and getting in there. And then I used the black weather stripping glue all the way across. And you don't have to put a ton in there. Just a quick, very fine, thin little bead is all you need, really. So we got the mess cleaned up. I'm going crazy. We're going to get on to the bonus footage. Here you go. Be good to one another. Be kind. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to the channel. This week's video, emergency surgery on the vet. We got some issues here. So, you might have seen a couple months ago, got a video, go check it out. Me putting in an AEM 30-0334 air-fuel ratio gauge in here, and on the pillar and stuff like that. And the problem is it stopped working, and find out that I must have done a bad job of installing it because we had some burned wires onto the headers. So I've also got really high oil turn fuel trims going on, so I must have a vacuum leak or cracked intake, something I might have missed or overlooked on the intake. So we're going to take care of all that today in this video as fast as we can. So I'm going to show you guys what's wrong and how we're taking care of it. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is Jamie's already tearing up. Jamie's already messing up that pan that is right above your exhaust that goes right down the middle of the car. So let's take a look and show you how we're running our wires for the oxygen sensors and the gas and stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get to it.
It might have something to do with the fact that it's not wood or drywall.
Yeah. So we took the pan out here, you can see, because look, there's our torque tube, dry shaft.
I was about to say, I was waiting for that reaction.
Right here is the wires running down from the firewall. I know that's a little dark, but we're kind of running it. So right there, coming down the firewall and hooking it there so that it'll be above the pan. So this is a lot neater. And what Jamie's doing right now is he's notching out. Yeah, I already put him back in the drawer over there. Second or third drawer down from the top. That's where we got it marked, where we want these wires here, our connectors for the wideband oxygen sensors. We'll have those poked down through right there like that. You'll see when it's done, but we've got the X-pipe off. Man, if I hit my head again. everything's going good so far. So I hate to make it sound like it's boring, but yep, that's what we're doing. And look. And then what I'll end up doing is, I don't know if Jamie has any, but what I'll end up doing is around that hole that he's putting there is I have kind of like what you put on the door, the ends of the doors right there. Oops, I can't even. I'm going looking backwards. We'll put door jamb trim on there and have it around there so it doesn't rub through the wires. That works out really well. I like using those, and at home I got a bunch of wire loom O-rings that are like slotted for when you make holes. I might have one that's that big too. So let's get this shield back up real quick and see how this all works out. And we're back. We've got the plate back up and the exhaust back up, and I want to show you guys how everything is hidden. Oops. Everything is way up high and now above that plate. And just temporary, we just took a piece of vacuum line, look at that, split it and used it as a grommet to protect it so it doesn't get cut. Oops. And now Jamie's putting a see that? That way they don't fall
back under the exhaust again.
Yeah, doesn't fall in the exhaust and melt again.
Jesus.
Galvanized isn't as easy as you thought it was going to be, huh? I'll be blurting out them F-bombs. See that? Nice and neat though. Now we'll have dual gauge readings going up to our air fuel ratio gauge. And I'll do just a quick how to wire that in, but it's pretty simple. There it is. Is that gonna touch there? Should we put one more in?
Put one more in, but the exhaust is in the way.
He's like bitch slapped him and taught him a lesson.
Taunted him a lesson.
All right, taunt. It's all taunt.
Taunt is the torture.
Nothing is touching. Look at that, how nice and neat that is.
I would like to get this one in the clip better.
He said, oh yeah. All right, it's up there, guys. Well, we got to finish wiring at the top. So, oh, okay. Jamie's going to go run to the parts store. He's got to get stuff for this van we got behind us over here. And I'm going to get to wiring and getting that new, the new wiring up to the A-pillar for the gauge. And all right, you guys seen that we got the wires and everything for the gauge hooked up and working again. Oh, that's a little crooked. But we got the air fuel gauge hooked up. But we found the vacuum leak because earlier in this video you heard me mention vacuum leak. And what it was is the last time you guys have seen that I have this airbrushed. The intake is airbrushed. Look at this.
All swelled.
They're all swollen up, and they found a bunch of them that were sucked over. So we got to find a better way of putting these in so that they stay in place while you're installing the intake back on. So I think we're going to throw just a very fine little bit of RTV down in there to get them to stick and hold in place better, and then we can mount it back into the car. Well, I completely messed this one up again, guys and gals. Not a big deal though. You seen where we're at, showed you the O-rings were off, swollen. Man, that's my fault, and that's crazy that the damn thing even ran as well as it did since fall. right before I put it away, and then for the last like month or so since I taken it out of storage. Anyways, we used just a little bit of RVT down in the grooves of the intake to make it hold those O-rings in place. That worked out a lot better. And then we found a couple other things, you know, not that big, but most importantly, the biggest thing is that when I put the laptop back on the car and was reading the long-term fuel trims, I used the scanner to reset the long-term fuel trims on the, you know, the HV tuner scanner. I used that to reset the long-term fuel trims, and then it was over a 50% drop. I was like 18 to 20 long-term fuel trims, and that's ridiculous. And now I've got it down to 8. And now that I'm driving, I just realized that I probably should have put the laptop on and been getting data recording while I'm driving. But it's raining out here anyway. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's raining out here. I'm sure you can see it on the back window. So, not that I think it would make a difference, but anyways, that's going to be it for this portion of the video. I do have some, I've done them good before without using any RTV, but apparently just dabbing the 4 corners of the rectangle on the intake is well worth it, to say the least, for holding those O-ring type gaskets in there so that you can get the intake back on. Because trying to fight that and put those back 2 bolts back on, especially on a Vette, man, what a pain in the butt. So and if I remember right, my 98 Trans Am, those back 2 bolts were a pain in the butt too. So anyways, like I said, that's gonna do it. Stick around, I got great bonus footage for you coming up. Something to just check it out. You're gonna like it. I think you're really gonna like it. So we'll see you next week's video. Now that it, by the way, real quick, now that it's summertime, or well, springtime, and we're getting more daylight, so when I'm coming home at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, at least I'm getting a little bit daylight, so I can start recording more, and I'll try and piece together, you know, like a midweek video, you know, of just something kind of fun. But I do got some bonus footage for you. We're gonna get some more stuff going on the LS swapped Camaro, and the great news is the first LS swapped Camaro that I did for my girlfriend, that is coming home very, very soon. I know you guys have seen in some of the videos that it's painted and looking good. They got to put the ground effects and everything back on and stuff like that, all the trim pieces. It's gonna go, it's gonna go, it's gonna go!